You know, every leadership experience kind of goes with whatever I have in my toolbox in my head over all the years that I've been an officer, firefighter, and the experiences that you should be connected to in some way should be maybe to your past and probably the history of your service. So we collect all this information. Your leadership dreams, should also be connected to yourself very intimately, and to also your service to your department and the fire service's future. I kind of like to think of myself and analyze my actions and the consequences of my actions whenever I can, and realize that they're probably I kind of make them like footprints that would be left behind for others to follow and hopefully respect for a long period of time. Anything is possible when the relationships with your people are just right, especially with those that you're leading. And in order to do that, they should be born out of humility and mutuality, along with respect. This is how people get to do what you need them to do. Learning leadership from like the inside out is a life endeavor. It's a long process. It's something that isn't basically that you're born with. It's something that you have to learn, and you also have to be brave enough to pursue it. And when you are, the way to present yourself in a lot of these feelings of leadership and your presentation in regards to your being, whether it's on the fire ground or in the firehouse, I try to do it with a certain amount of silence and a lot of heart and a lot of soul. You have to become an uncommon leader for the common man, so to speak. Never leaving behind your fellow brothers and also your fellow leaders. When great leaders act, they take a lot into consideration. They take the consideration of everyone involved, into their hearts and souls, of their purpose, and never to act alone just for yourself. So you're doing it for them when you're leading, and to provide the best interest for them as well as safety. Many great leaders are, very quiet type individuals, very contemplative, while in action, though, they can become very explosive and in their decision making, especially when it's critical thinking that's moving in a fast fireground dynamic. And the only way to accomplish this is through a lot of experience and trying to gain that knowledge and that experience with hands-on programs as well as educating yourself, whether it's schoolroom or classwork. So the environment has to be right, for allowing for reaching leadership dreams that are encouraged and then realized and supported by the organization. So you can't just lead the lead and not have the support of your organization. And your organization, on the other hand, has to be able to support you. In other words, give you the rope, the reins to kind of free you up to inspire, to create spirit within a department. Leaders are, involved in the missions of obedience, character, faith, integrity, and the service itself. So leading, you're going to need to train hard, you're going to need to study hard, while bracing yourself in humility and learning the valuable lessons that are taught to us. And one of the most valuable lessons we can obviously understand in the fire service, since we are driven by life rescue and fire extinguishment, is that we're not going to surrender to anything if at all possible. In fact, surrender is basically not an option, and that's a military mindset. And we'll only surrender to a higher power. So with the mind sharpened and our body prepared, and with a good deepening of the soul, we can lead with a good vision for those that will follow us willingly and follow our service to the department. You are then ready to shape the future of other leaders that'll come after you. The fire service should always be in search of young leaders And we do this by mentoring and coaching. In other words, we just don't go through our career and not share ourselves. We need to share a lot. We need to mentor. We need to take the rookie, even all the way up to our battalion chief levels, and sometimes our chief officer levels as well. We can learn to mentor them as well as they've been mentoring us for years. So it's a two-way street. So your men come first, and that's utmost. And from one bugle to the next, you must live, for your duty, honor, and your service in order to gain rank and stature. And rank doesn't mean really anything unless you have the character and the integrity, to put yourself behind these bugles. The bugles don't serve any purpose other than the fact that they are a rank designation. You serve the purpose through your character. So you accept recognition with humility, but you want to remain constant and true to your character. Your life shapes the lives of many through sacrifice and your servitude. So you have no idea how many people that you'll be affecting throughout your life, and affecting your men and the way they think of you and the way they think of the fire service and their commitments to the fire ground and to their communities. So you must aspire, to the abilities to train and lead, even though danger and desperation, is part of this job, which then becomes part of your character. So, being responsible sometimes, means pissing people off. We don't want to try to make everyone like us, but we do want to be fair. We want to be diligent. We want to be trustworthy, and trust is one of the major concerns, and should be present ever on the fire ground as well as in the firehouse. It's something that's constant. Without trust, we cannot function as a team. So, learning those types of attitudes that we must gain and then contribute to our fire department and to our members takes precedent over anything. So, it's like anything. When the day guys stop bringing you your problems, you're kind of set there in motion and wondering, well, that's the day that you've probably stopped leading. You want people to open up to you. You want people to share their problems with you. You want to try to help them create solutions. You want to try to help them create confidence in themselves, as well as building your own confidence. That you want to guarantee that your leadership doesn't become a failure. So you can't just rest back on your heels. So lead on and understand your commitments in regards to leadership. Be safe out there, and we'll be talking to you soon again.